She stood next to Charlotte's bed and took a picture. Allerton confirms Meg sneakily snapped pics at the palace. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex have been accused of taking a private photographer into Buckingham Palace without permission during their farewell tour in Britain, after a behind-the-scenes image was broadcast to millions in their new Netflix trailer. Interesting how before, information and pictures of Harry's wife weren't available online while she was a member of the royal family. However, it's a different story now. The story is this: she was caught taking pictures inside Kensington Palace in a private area. She was confronted and said she was going to be paid up to $250,000 for them. Charles was notified. He was livid and had her removed immediately and escorted to the airport by 2 royal protection officers. She was photographed leaving the UK at the airport. They took photographers with them everywhere. Those shots in the Netflix trailer are the least of it. This started in Botswana before they were engaged. I'm sure they recorded conversations as well. These next few months are the climax to a scheme that's been bubbling away for years. Meg's also taking pictures in the private residence of William and Kate. It's the reason for the row between the brothers and why they were chucked out of Kensington Palace so quickly. Some kind of egregious privacy or security breach. The scariest thing was when Meghan stood next to Charlotte's bed and took pictures. This is the biggest rumour, now completely corroborated by a photographer Meghan had hired to sneak inside the palace to take pictures. Maybe Meghan really became a badass to the little girl. It all started when Charlotte cried at Meg's wedding, with offensive words not meant for children. Then people saw her crying again as she stood next to Meghan at the Queen's funeral. Everything is connected with each other. It's this that has pushed the relationship between the Cambridges and the Sussexes increasingly tense. The 1-minute-long advert for the Duke and Duchess's new documentary shows a series of black and white photographs taken at Frogmore Cottage, their wedding evening reception, and on holiday. One picture appears to have been taken inside Buckingham Palace, showing them walking out of the garden entrance. By convention, anyone wishing to film or shoot in the Queen's home required permission, with strict protocols surrounding imagery in what's considered private quarters. Aides noted that the couple had not asked permission to shoot inside the Queen's home. Usually a memo would be sent to the Queen. A second said, "There's very strict protocol about bringing a film crew or photographer. Usually a memo would be sent to the Queen to get approval." One insider said the appearance of a private photographer had been noticed by household staff at the time, as the Sussexes came and went from the palace. While here, they were followed by photographer Chris Allerton, whose work shooting the Duchess during a private visit to the National Theatre and an emotional farewell to staff at Buckingham Palace was released and published soon afterwards. At least one picture was taken in the same week and has now been broadcast as part of the Netflix trailer. In it, Prince Harry and Meghan walk hand in hand towards an exit of Buckingham Palace, where 2 footmen hold the doors open for them. They predicted that there could be more images to come in the documentary or printed elsewhere, with the Sussexes holding events in the Belgian suite, an 1844 room, and the offices of staff. For a couple who've been privacy obsessed, in 60 seconds they've shown raw emotion, private places, photos never before seen. They've blown their own protestations out of the water and detonated their own privacy policy.